A 60-year-old woman spent all her savings to buy a mysterious potion. As soon as she drank it, something unbelievable happened. Her wrinkled hands suddenly became smooth and soft like a young girl's. The deep lines on her face faded away right before her eyes. Even more shocking, her once flat chest instantly became full and firm, and her sagging hips turned tight and lifted. She was thrilled and couldn't wait to share this secret with her husband, Jack. But what she never expected was that Jack had already fallen for another woman. Even more ironic, he didn't recognize that the young woman in front of him was actually his wife. Worse, he cruelly pushed Linda down the stairs. Her body was twisted and broken, and she should have been dead. But just as Jack was happily calling his lover to share the good news, Linda slowly stood up behind him. Her neck spun all the way around in a horrifying way, leaving Jack completely frozen with fear. At first, Linda didn't even realize something was wrong. It was Jack who pointed it out. She asked Jack to help twist her head back, but Jack was too terrified to move. So Linda had no choice but to grab her head and twist it back into place herself. The sight made Jack's legs turn to jelly. But the most terrifying part was Linda wasn't the only one who had drunk that potion. It all went back to 30 years earlier. At that time, Jack's wife wasn't Linda, but her best friend, Emily. Linda was a dancer back then, and Jack noticed her the first time he saw her on stage. Since Emily and Linda were close, Jack soon got to know Linda as well. But, as the saying goes, guard against fire, theft, and best friends. Emily had to watch as her boyfriend and best friend grew closer, while she herself was left out. She was furious when she got home, partly because of their flirting, but also because Jack's profession was so desirable. He was a plastic surgeon, the dream husband in many women's eyes. Emily wanted to test Jack before their marriage, but Jack, who swore he had no interest in Linda, turned around and married her in a flash. A man's words, she realized, could never be trusted. Emily could only watch as her best friend stole her fiancé. One might think she would rise up and seek revenge, but instead, she completely gave up. For the next 20 years, she let herself go, becoming overweight and miserable. Her only source of joy was going again and again to watch Linda's stage performances, but only focusing on the scene where Linda's character was strangled. That was her one twisted pleasure. But soon, even that was gone. Because she owed 800 days of rent, Emily was taken away by her landlord and the police and sent to a mental hospital. Half a year later, she hadn't lost a single pound. All she did was repeat the names of Linda and Jack every day. The betrayal had left her with scars that would never heal. Yet no one could have imagined that this broken woman would one day shock the world again. 10 years later, Linda was no longer young, but the money she had saved from her acting career, plus Jack's high salary as a plastic surgeon, allowed them to live a retirement life that many envied. They even had a maid to take care of everything. Then, one day, Linda received an invitation to a party. The letter was filled with compliments, making her feel flattered and delighted. She had no idea that this was a trap carefully set by Emily. That evening, she and Jack went to the party as planned, only to see 61-year-old Emily looking slim, curvy, and nothing like a woman her age. Linda walked up with a polite smile, but when she saw her old friend still looking so young and beautiful, her smile froze.